Well, hi,
Hi.
Janet. I'm talking to Janet Darrow today, who was the FAUSA president, the sixth FAUSA president from 2013 to 2017. Welcome.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions I'd like to ask you, Janet. You were able to achieve the 501c3 status for FAUSA. I'd like to hear your thoughts about that.
Yes. Well, it was kind of a challenge that came up at the end of my first term, and I'd heard that we'd tried to get the 501c3 earlier and had failed, and I thought, that it would just make it so much easier for whoever's doing philanthropy because people could write off their donations, so it would just make it easier. And that was really about as far as my thinking was going. And so we took on the challenge, and I was very fortunate in that my godchild Kelly was working with a top Washington, D.C. law firm. And she and another person from the law firm who had more experience with 501c3s agreed to take on the challenge pro bono. And so they sat in on all of our meetings, on everything. We racked up an invisible, because it was pro bono, tab of over $75,000 had they charged us. So they
Wow.
sat in, they spent a lot of
Amazing.
hours on our project
Wow.
to give us the best chance. And even then, they weren't sure if we were going to succeed. Said it was kind of a 50-50 shot. Um, so it took so long. Literally took the full 2 years. We sent in the application during my the end of my final term, and it took about 6 months to get an answer back. And then I was off board when we got the answer, but I was still had the name on the paperwork. So they called me. I thought it was a crank call.
Oh
I
my gosh.
thought it was some scammer. So I was being kind of rude to this lady, and she's going, "Well, I thought you'd want to know that your application for I'm like, "Oh, it's FAFSA." Oh, really? And so it was wonderful because I was the first person to get the news. So
As you should be.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I would love to have had it end within, and get the news within my term. But I mean, it was a long process. So it was something hard fought for. So very exciting.
And how do you see the organization's getting its 501c3? How has that changed the organization?
Oh my goodness. Well, like I said, I was thinking small, that this would make it easier for people to donate. But what the philanthropy and the boards have done, how they've run with it, is really exciting. So, I mean, and like for me, I look at my time on the board as, just a stepping stone to the next level. And for me, with Alsa, it's exciting to see where it's gone. It's exciting to see the changes that have come about, and just the vibrancy of the organization, that the next generations in the next boards took it further.
So
You left this part out.
well, do you have a memorable or funny moment in your FAUSA terms as president?
I have some that I'm never going to say because it involves other people. Yeah, I would say when I went to the first FACO conference as president, they did a poll, uh, and they were ranking what the FACO member clubs thought of all of the different pieces and the importance of all of the different pieces of the organization. And I think there were about 50 different things, and we were rated number 50. And
Oh,
the president looked over at me and said, "Sorry, Janet." And I'm like, "Okay, so we need to raise our profile." And that was the thing that really hit me from that. So that was when I decided that FAUSA, being the lowest thought, the lowest concern in an organization that has a hard time, because FACO has a hard time expressing what it is. And we are like, the subset of that. So it's like, how do we become more memorable? And that's when I came up with doing funny speeches, or doing creative speeches at the conferences, and trying to, just gain some profile of standing out as being a little different. So that's when I did my dog speech. And and it was really good because I still have people coming up to me for my FACO dog speech, and which was basically talking about board members' dogs, and and moving with dogs overseas, and so making it something highly relatable. So I think we do have a higher profile now. I know that the other boards had a tendency in the past to look at the other organizations with a bit of distrust. I know that FACO wasn't particularly trustful of the foundation, and the foundation was very nervous about FAUSA because they thought, okay, well, if they get their 501c3, then they're not going to be donating money to us. They're going to be doing
Oh,
all their own
interesting.
fundraising.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, were these valid fears? I mean, they were valid to them. And I think what's really nice is that all the boards are working in such good harmony now, and that FAUSA has more than proven itself over the years. Now we're doing even more. I mean, we're raising more sometimes than the foundation,
Yeah.
but we are still, keeping FACO and FAUSA or FACO and the foundation at the forefront of our thinking and making sure that we're always, supporting grants, development grants and education awards there
And
and
the
the
Target
Target
Project.
program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Great. Well, now I have a little surprise. Lightning round.
Okay.
Okay. Which would you take? Red wine from Austria or white wine from Napa?
White wine from Napa. I only
Okay.
drink white wine. It makes
Oh,
that
well,
easy. That was like the
that was
easiest
easy.
question. Yeah.
Okay. Window seat or aisle seat?
Aisle seat.
Okay. City skyline or countryside view?
City skyline.
Sushi in Tokyo or tacos in Mexico City?
Oh, I like to go more exotic, so sushi in Tokyo.
Finding peanut butter or decent Wi-Fi?
Decent Wi-Fi. That was a weird question. That was like,
When you move, right? What would be the
oh,
first
okay,
thing you
that's what it was.
do?
Well,
Yeah,
decent Wi-Fi always, yeah.
yeah. Let's see. Adapting to local time or adapting to local toilets?
These questions. Adapting to local time. Jet lag is a real thing.
Blame Rick on the questions.
I always do.
Saying goodbye or starting over?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, that's kind of a push. Yeah. We stayed in Vienna for so long that we would have friends come, we'd go out to dinner with friends. We have something to tell you and said, oh, are you moving? And they go, how did you know? That's been a secret. It's like, no, we've gone through this so many times with so many friends. So it's hell saying goodbye to good friends. But, starting off in a new location I think starting off in a new location would be preferred than saying goodbye. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add for this video interview?
No, not really. I mean, congratulations to FAUSA, congratulations to the boards. For me, as a former president, now kind of like in the middle of FAUSA's life now that after, some time has gone by. For me, it's just really exciting to see where you guys take it. And I'm happy to have been a part of it and to continue to be a part of it.
Well, thank you for all of the work that you've done and continue to do and your great support of FAUSA.
My pleasure.
And looking forward to seeing you next week.
I know, I can't believe it. I've got to get my taxes done. Leave on that happy note.